surveillance program is still classified. It is completely classified. The Israeli government refuses to this day even to acknowledge the program. As far as I know,
The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Law number 3. Conceal your intentions. Have you ever heard of a skillful general who intends to surprise a citadel announcing his plan to his enemy? Conceal your purpose and hide your progress. Do not disclose the extent of your designs until they cannot be opposed, until the combat is over. Win the victory before you declare the war. In a word, imitate those warlike people whose designs are not known except by the ravaged country through which they have passed. Ninon de Lenclon. It takes effort to control your tongue and monitor what you reveal. It is much more prudent to tailor your words, telling people what they want to hear rather than the coarse and ugly truth of what you feel or think. More important, by being unabashedly open, you make yourself so predictable and familiar that it is almost impossible to respect or fear you, and power will not accrue to a person who cannot inspire such emotions. Train yourself in the art of concealing your intentions, master the art, and you will always have the upper hand. Our first instinct is to always trust appearances. This fact makes it relatively easy to conceal one's intentions. Let's talk about how people conceal intentions and fool you. Use decoyed objects of desire to throw people off. Support an idea or cause that is actually contrary to your own sentiments but will help you achieve your goal. Use this tactic in the following manner. Hide your intentions not by closing up, with the risk of appearing secretive and making people suspicious, but by talking endlessly about your desires and goals. Just not your real ones. You will kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You appear friendly, open, and trusting. You conceal your intentions, and you send your rivals on time-consuming wild goose chases. False sincerity. People easily mistake sincerity for honesty. Remember, their first instinct is to trust appearances, and since they value honesty and want to believe in the honesty of those around them, they will rarely doubt you or see through your act. Seeming to believe what you say gives your words great weight. Remember, the best deceivers do everything they can to cloak their roguish qualities. They cultivate an air of honesty in one area to disguise their dishonesty in others. Honesty is merely another decoy in their arsenal of weapons. Bland facial expression. Behind a bland, unreadable exterior, all sorts of mayhem can be planned without detection. This is a weapon that the most powerful men in history have learned to perfect. Noble gesture. People want to believe apparently noble gestures are genuine, for the belief is pleasant. They rarely notice how deceptive these gestures can be. Appearing to belong to a group. The tendency to mistake appearances for reality, the feeling that if someone seems to belong to your group, their belonging must be real. This habit makes the seamless blend a very effective front. The trick is simple. You simply blend in with those around you, and the better you blend in, the less suspicious you become. Remember, it takes patience and humility to dull your brilliant colors, to put on the mask of the unconspicuous. Do not despair at having to wear such a bland mask. It is often your unreadability that draws people to you and makes you appear a person of power. But how do people apply these ways to fool you? Simply dangle an object you seem to desire, a goal you seem to aim for in front of people's eyes, and they will take the appearance for reality. Once their eyes focus on the decoy, they will fail to notice what you're really up to. Politicians use this all the time. Our first historical example would be decoyed objects of desire and making a woman fall in love. The Marquis or Marquise de Sévigné was inexperienced in the art of love. He confided in the infamous courtesan of 17th century France, Ninon de Lenclon, to instruct him on how to seduce a difficult young countess. She made him follow a plan over a number of weeks, where the Marquise would be appearing in public, always surrounded by beautiful women in the very places the Countess would be expected to see him. He was supposed to assume an air of nonchalance. This increased the jealousy of the young Countess, who was not sure of his interest in her. One day the Marquise, unable to control his passion, broke from Ninon's plan and blurted out to the Countess that he loved her. After this admission, the Countess no longer found him interesting and avoided him. The whole premise of dating is based on games, wild moves, and being unpredictable. If you display your feelings too soon, it becomes an artless show of passion, a door closed that would never open again. In seduction, set up conflicting signals such as desire and indifference, and you not only throw them off the scent, you inflame their desire to possess you. Another example, Otto von Bismarck became Prime Minister of Prussia. Otto von Bismarck was a deputy in the Prussian parliament at a time when many fellow deputies thought it was possible to go to war against Austria and defeat it. Bismarck wanted to go to war, but he knew that the king was not in favor of it. He also knew the Prussian army was not prepared, so he devised a clever way. He publicly stated his praises for the Austrians and talked about the madness of war. Many deputies changed their votes. Had Bismarck announced his real intentions, arguing it was better to wait now and fight later, he would not have won. Most Prussians wanted to go to war at that moment and mistakenly believed their army to be superior to the Austrians. Had he gone to the king, his sincerity would have been doubted. By giving misleading statements about wanting peace and concealing his true purpose, Bismarck's speech catapulted him to the position of prime minister. He later had the country go to war against the Austrians at the right time when he felt the Prussian army was more capable and united with Germany. Yet another example, the Duke of Marlborough used this in the Spanish succession. During the War of the Spanish Succession in 1711, the Duke of Marlborough, head of the English army, wanted to destroy a key French fort because it protected a vital thoroughfare into France. Yet he knew that if he destroyed it, the French would realize what he wanted, to advance down that road. Instead, then he merely captured the fort and garrisoned it with some of his troops, making it appear as if he wanted it for some purpose of his own. The French attacked the fort and the Duke let them recapture it. Once they had it back, they destroyed it, figuring that the Duke had wanted it for some important reason. Now that the fort was gone, the road was unprotected and Marlborough could easily march into France. What else? Henry Kissinger used bland face to win opponents. Henry Kissinger would bore his opponents around the negotiating table to tears with his monotonous voice, his blank look, his endless recitations of details. Then, as their eyes glazed over, he would suddenly hit them with a list of bold terms. Caught off guard, they would be easily intimidated. As one poker manual explains it, while playing his hand, the good player is seldom an actor. Instead, he practices a bland behavior that minimizes readable turns, frustrates and confuses opponents, permits greater concentration. Spies use appearing to belong to a group method. During the Cold War of the 1950s and 60s, as is now notorious, a slew of British civil servants passed secrets to the Soviets. They went undetected for years because they were apparently decent chaps, had gone to all the right schools and fit the old boy network perfectly. So, I paid close attention to all the feedback I've received from you guys and switched up the reviewing of the book's content to a great deal. I hope you like it better this way, and please let me know, and thanks for watching. The put on mat it is. What the fuck is that sentence? Be measured and believable, or your ruse will seem the put on mat it is. I'm not putting this in.
Give big, save big at Nordstrom Rack.
Ooh, big gift energy.
The biggest